What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Headspace podcast. I am your host, Chris Chrome, and today I am reviewing Brotha Lynch Hung's new project EP called the Turnmanator. Again, that's Brotha Lynch Hung's new project EP album thingy called the Turnmanator. What's up, guys? Chris Chrome here. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the Headspace podcast review. I'm in my quarantine swag. It's Friday. I'm feeling whatever the fuck I'm supposed to be feeling. I don't really know anymore. I don't even, the only reason why I know it's Friday is because of the fact that I work every day, Monday to Friday, so I do get to keep, a proper schedule, and I do work at home. But honestly, I understand if you guys are starting to lose track of the days, because I'm starting to lose track of just, time, not days, and I understand it's weird to say, I'm losing track of time and not days, but more just, I'm losing track of, time in terms of the different hours of when I used to travel home and taking buses and metros and subways and shit like that. So it's just so my days are just so much longer at home, and it just kind of feels more just heavy weight a little bit because I don't go outside as much because we're all fucking quarantined. So yeah, but again, you guys are not here for that. I'm really just letting y'all know what I've been up to. I hope you guys can let me know what you guys have been up to, if everybody's cool. How's your mental health? How's your health in general? You guys working out? You guys staying in shape? You guys learning a new skill or whatnot? I am trying to, but like I said, I do work from home, so I'm usually just spent all day fucking doing my job. Anyway, yeah, I kind of look bummy, and this is just how I honestly woke up, and it's 8:30 at night right now, so this is pretty much what I've looked like all day, so I apologize. And oh yes, it's another Headspace in the evening. As you can tell, it's a little bit more darker, and it works because, as you can see by the photo, Brotha Lynch Hung, if you know him, it's more of a darker theme type of music. So let's just kind of get into it here. Welcome to the Headspace podcast, where I'm going to break down and give you my thoughts and opinions track by track on this short little 6-track project from Brotha Lynch Hung called the Turnmanator. And you know what? I'm just going to do the Patreon thing here. So thank you so much to the Patreons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Lindo Williams, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, and Scribble. Thank you so much for everything you guys do for us. We really, really appreciate it. I'll touch more about it at the end of the video. The reason why I'm starting it right now, though, is because of the fact that Ismail Gadamsi hit me up on Twitter and let me know what projects there was out and thought I should do the Brotha Lynch Hung new EP. Now, the reason why he hit me up is because I did send out a tweet saying that I didn't know what to do. I checked out all day, mostly at lunch. I checked out at lunch what albums were out. I saw a bunch of different names that I thought I wanted to do. I looked up a bunch of different things, and some of them didn't have a lot of lyrics. Some of them didn't have full things that I can go through. Some of the albums were kind of here, there, and everywhere. So I don't know. I just kind of wanted to see if I can get some interaction and see if you guys would chat me, and Ismail really just kind of hit me up and went, I think you should, he was like, you should do the Brotha Lynch Hung. And we've done a review on Brotha Lynch Hung before for Classic Quest. We did Season of the Sickness. I've also reviewed, I think, his last little EP that he did. I really do enjoy Brotha Lynch Hung. I really like the Manable Lecter album. Meat Cleaver is one of my favorite songs from Brotha Lynch Hung. And just as I'm speaking about it, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an insight to where I know him from. I only really know Brotha Lynch Hung because of a little strange music spiral that I went down back in 2011, 2012. I could be making this shit up. I can't remember times anymore, but back in that time, 13, 14, 15, whatever, I went down this little spiral of strange music, and I found Stevie Stone and Calhoun, or I can't say his name, and Ubiquitous, and that whole tribe and everybody. So that's where I really kind of fell in love with strange. And then I noticed Brotha Lynch Hung had a project coming out, and I was really just interested by the name, just in terms of the fact that Lynch was there. That's so just historically fucking grotesque, and just what they did. But it's also I guess because, one, he is black, two, he's part of like hip hop culture and everything. So like clearly there is like that whole, understanding of like where they come from and what they talk about and all that, if you know hip hop. So like it really stuck out to me. And it just, I think I think it was the Manable Lecter album that I saw when I also like just the album cover that I saw when I decided to listen to it, and I just really fell in love with his like outlandish, grotesque, like just atmosphere, scenery building that he can do with his words. And he really does paint these like crazy fucking pictures of like just sick, twisted shit that could happen, and he's like really just violent and out there. But you know what, like I want to preface this, I like this project because a lot of what I like from Brotha Lynch Hung is once I really started diving in and listening to it and had like conversations on Classic Quest, I kind of started thinking like, yeah, he does have this sick, paranoid, twisted type of vibe to him, and this like really cannibalistic type of vibe to him, but at the same time it's kind of performed in a way where you kind of get these insights of what the atmosphere around him is like, kind of like how he grew up and what he lived through and what he does. As much as, he is like talking about chopping up bodies and selling them to people and feeding them and cooking them and all this shit, it's like when you kind of get past that, when you get past that dramatic overlook of what everything is, it's really more just like having to, again, maybe cook product and have to be on the block, and if you fuck with him, I do know that he was part of he's like I think he's a Crip, if I'm not mistaken, so I guess I shouldn't be wearing the red hat, but I'm in Canada, whatever. Anyway, useless fucking comment, I know that. But I know that he's a Crip. I remember learning that back on the Classic Quest review. I know that he's like he was heavily into gangs back then. I don't know about now. I don't know if he's still doing that like as of 2020, but I know back then he was heavily into gangs and all that. So I do know that like he's pretty much got that gangster influence in that background. So for me, I kind of look at what he says a little bit as like certain acts that he may have done as a gangster, and kind of like, yeah, when he's talking about chopping up bodies and shit, it's most probably really more like, shooting people and busting gats, and yes, he's got his iconic machete, and I'll get through that more in the album. He's got this iconic like obsession with his machete, which I do like in terms of the thematic character that he uses. But like, when you really think about it, it's more of this grimy, dark understanding of where he kind of comes from. So I really did appreciate that. Like I said, this project is only like 6 tracks long, and really it's only like 4 tracks because 2 of them are an intro and an outro. So it's not going to be a really long review, but I did wanted to give a shout out to Ismail Gadamsi for sending me this suggestion, and I was really hyped and excited about it. The 3rd track has one of my favorite rappers on it that I was really excited to hear, so I'll definitely get into that. And so this is just going to be a little quick bonus thing to be sent out soon. And tomorrow I am doing the main episode, but I have other things that I wanted to do as well, and I'm still getting to do other projects, and I'm gonna have like a slew of videos that I may be sending Holden. So there's a lot of work for me to do this weekend now that I am home. Just to give you guys context on why, is because now that I am home, I am able to organize and kind of get more things done in the house before my evening, and then I can get done a lot of the projects more in the evening now, and not have to worry about it. I do still have adult responsibilities that I have to take care of, so here we go. Now, anyway, fuck all that. Let's just kind of get into it. Again, this is a bonus Headspace episode. My name is Chris Chrome. I'll be your host for today. And thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you like it, hit subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I am going to be reviewing, picking apart, and giving you what I feel about the album Brotha Lynch Hung, the Turnmanator. Oh, before we get into it, right before, I need to give you guys context. I have 0 lyrics. I spent at least 2 hours today, not consecutively, just 2 hours in like total, just the time I had to look around to see if there was any lyrics to this project. I also got off work early. I usually finish around 4:30. I got off at 2, so it's about 2.5 hours early, whatever. but I really spent some time looking, trying to find some lyrics. I found absolutely nothing, but I did bump the album enough for me to get like an idea of what the songs are talking about. I'm gonna try to quote some things that I caught and some things that I hear. Honestly, it's just harder because this artist, by the way, Brotha Lynch Hung, is not like one of those rappers who rap slow. Like, he does a lot of tricky, fast rap, chopping rap. So there's a lot of that I kind of had to get through, and I'm more into that. So I'm like, oh, vibes. So anyway, just take in consideration, I have no lyrics, so a lot of this is just like realistically a first listen, and I'm doing a review on it, but I have actually bumped this project. It's 20 minutes long, so I've bumped this project at least like 6 times today because I was just doing stuff around the house, cleaning and stuff like that, while listening to the project, sitting down, listening to it, vibing it, and like just really getting into it. And then I just reviewed it like I would usually review, which is another 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because again, no lyrics, really just think about the songs, replay them a bit. So yeah, it took me about like 20, 25, 30 minutes just to kind of listen to the stuff. Like I said, the first 2 tracks, well, we'll get into it. Well, not the first 2, but anyway, all right, I'm rambling. We'll get into it. Welcome to Headspace. Let's start with the intro. So starting off this project, we've got the intro called just intro. There was nothing. Well, intro in brackets, Turnmanator. So it kind of starts off this like, you're kind of getting this like cinematic intro to what it is. And speaking of cinematic intro, you do get this nice like narrative tone. And I think it's Brotha Lynch Hung who's actually doing the vocals on this. And he's really changing his voice in a really cool way that I did appreciate. It kind of gave him this like eerie, dark, narrative voice, building up the character of who Turnmanator is, technically who Brotha Lynch Hung is. I also like how in this, I caught that he was doing like a little bit of a shout out to Bone Thugs, Tech Nine, Snoop Dogg, and I think he mentions one more person that I didn't actually catch even a couple of times that I listened, because it's like really edited and they're like the vocals are kind of mixed through with a lot of sound effects, giving that like misty, eerie kind of death feel. So really good with like the thematic of it. I just remembered I didn't do the album cover and the title. So the title is Turnmanator. Okay, he's gonna terminate stuff, and the album cover is a bloody mask, kind of like just the same things we've been getting for the rest of the albums. I'm sorry for cutting that. I'm really doing this super badly. I apologize, but y'all can see the album cover. I'm just gonna continue. So yeah, with that, the it kind of like the intro does give off this nice little set of like vibe that does kind of take you out of where you're at and brings you into the mind of Brotha Lynch Hung, which I really do like that when albums do that. I really do appreciate when the artists and the producers are really able to take you away from your reality and really kind of give you this visual picture just with the sounds and the way that they're presenting the music and the tracks to show you kind of visually what they're trying to get across in the message. Now, this alone really just builds the character of who Turnmanator is. It's not really like there's any encrypted real message or anything, but what I do like at the end is that it kind of sounds after the narrative, like Brotha Lynch Hung kind of narrates who he is and kind of where he comes from, like the cannibalistic mind that he has, and he's like sick and twisted and he's like a killer and shit. The ending kind of has like, at first I thought it was just like this voice in the background saying like, we're able to do this, we're able to do that, but it kind of also sounds like coming out of jail, like a little bit of a riot, and there's like a chant saying that we are able to do certain things. I wasn't able to catch what they were saying, but it sounds like we're able, and it's like reinforcing this idea of ability and the possibility that we can move forward. So, well, I say move forward, but I don't really know what the narrative forward would be, so that's what I'm saying. Overall, I really thought it was super cool. I thought it actually gives a nice... I could listen to this in terms of just like the project itself, because it does set up it nicely, and I liked it. I thought it was really dope. I gave it a 4 on 5. We're starting off with some good marks and a good little intro. So the next track is Youz a Succa. So here we got the actual first like song of the project, and this song right away comes in with this like high energy, mysterious feel. But the high energy is like the high cymbals with the piano, which I really fell in love with. The piano really got me feeling like, ooh, this really captivated me, and this really got me feeling like, okay, I know where we're going. Now, right off with the title of the track, Youz, Succa, it felt like we were going to either get one of two things. He's going to talk about, you know, people who may have been fake, may have not been really loyal to him, or people who just ain't shit. I did kind of feel like we're going to get some flexing bars. We're kind of going to feel like and understand that he is like maybe better than some people. That's kind of what I took as like first glance. But to be clear, I was actually really wrong. Brotha Lynch Hung comes in with his first verse, kind of just doing what he usually does with like that grotesque, you know, evil, I'm gonna chop you up, eat your body parts, and like all this type of stuff mentality. Again, okay, so I forgot to also say this. A lot of you coming to this review who are seeing this probably know who Brotha Lynch Hung is, so you'll understand a lot of what I'm explaining. For those of you who don't know who Brotha Lynch Hung is, this is going to be a little difficult as a review, and I apologize. But just kind of understand that when I say eating body parts and cooking them in pots and cutting them up and like stabbing them in like, you know, like fucking dead bodies and shit, that's the lyrical content of what Brotha Lynch Hung does. Like, this is literally what he does in a really cool way. This song, now that I've gotten that out of the way as well, this song was really cool because it does keep this aspect of loyalty and friendship. Brotha Lynch Hung does do the thematic killing thing, vibe, whatever, scary, I'm coming for you thing, but it has this narrative and this like more motive, not narrative, but more of this motive of like, you fucked with me. I kind of got like glimpses, and I mean more like sound glimpses of like him feeling like his friends kind of weren't there for him, and like really like they were on the block before, and like then they kind of switched up and they snitched up, so he had to kind of go and do what he got to do. And he also kind of follows up with a lot of just like, you don't really want to you don't really want to fuck with me type of bars, really explaining like he's just kind of that gangster and he's that type of crazy, which I did appreciate, as he does follow up with like a lot of expressions about how he's gonna like use his machete to cut people apart, and like I like how he kind of addresses that like this is because somebody was talking shit about him, though. Like, he does kind of actually start this song off in the intro of the song where he's addressing that he used to be kind of friends with this person, and it's weird how like people are kind of fake, because he would always say hi to him and stuff, and now he finds out that like this person on the block or whatever is making a song about him, dissing him, which is why he went into this rage. So it's really cool the way he does kind of bring out this aspect of like people are fake and they'll talk shit, and I did really appreciate the way he does it. His syllable play is off the fucking chain. It really does match the people he kind of shouts out to in the beginning. Like, he does have that same syllable play as Bone Thugs. He does have that type of tempo and that switch up the way Tech 9 does, and he does got that like gangster crip, you know, way of living, the way that Snoop Dogg kind of still has too. So it's really cool how he shouts those names out that I caught, you know, in the intro of the album, and especially kind of proving it on this track. It was really cool. Then we get the chorus. It really just kind of goes and repeats like, use a sucka, motherfucker, use a sucka, motherfucker. And he really just enforces the fact that like, because you betrayed him and you weren't really there to support him, you know, use a sucka, you're not really that cool. And then G-Macc comes in, and G-Macc has this more of like a old school type of hip hop flow, more of like, it's not really that fast. He doesn't really kind of do the tricky flossing thing, but he does like really break down this story about how like he knew this guy, he like back in the past he used to know this guy who then like backstabbed him, and because he backstabbed him he had to go and essentially kill him. But the way he breaks down the story of like killing him, it sounds like, you know, he had to go, he put bullets into him, and then he knows he has to like hide the body, so he ends up like kind of evading the scene with the body, and he brings him to like this abandoned house, the bando as you want to call it, the trap if you want to call it, I'm making jokes, but then he like proceeds to explain how he's like chopping up the body, and he's like putting bleach on it, and it's in a bathtub, and then he bags up the body and hides it, and then he ends off the verse saying like, I end you like a closed chapter, and it's like really cool and hard hitting the way he says it, but it's not really detailed. Like, I'm making it sound like it's really intricately detailed, or I think I am making it sound like that. It's not. It's just more hype. But the way he does do it, and like the way G-Macc does it in this gruesome, really like aggressive demonic feel, and I say demonic because there's a lot of like edits on the track and on the voices that kind of give them this like really bassy tone to their voice and really like satanic type of feel. So I thought it was actually really cool. I thought it really did a good job. Overall, I did think that G-Macc stands up nicely to Brotha Lynch Hung in terms of like the outlandish, grotesque type of flares and type of things that he would say, but I thought it was like super dope the way that like there was this story type of aspect to it. So I gave this track a 4.2 on 5. The next song is Fire, no pun intended. So this track comes on and I was already hyped for it because the way that the beat comes in with this like this female vocal going like oh, and it just kind of plays out through the whole track. I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those songs. I know it is. It's going to be one of those tracks. And then not Twisted, and because Twisted Insane is on this song, and I was so happy to hear him, and I knew it right away once I heard his voice, and they're using the demonic voice, and he was like, and I'm doing, because I literally cannot quote Twisted Insane's chorus. I listen to it, I can listen to it, I know what he's saying, something about like dimensions, something about not wanting to like fuck with them, and like they're dents in the head or some shit, but like I can't quote it because he does it so fast, and the way that he like chops up mumbles it is why I like Twisted Insane. Hey, maybe I'll do a Twisted Insane review and I'll show you. Like, I do understand a lot of what he says, and I listen to a lot of the thing. The Keymaster and the Gatekeeper is one of my favorite projects from Twisted Insane and Charlie Ray, but I also like the Insane Asylum and like the Behind the Mask. Is that no, that's a song, but whatever. The Glass Demon, I think that's it too. Anyway, I want to know where Twisted Insane is. I want to know where he is. Want another album, like 2020, 2021 album. If somebody can like just, contact him and be like, yo, Twisted, make an album. I don't care. I know, look, okay, so I reviewed the King ISO project, and I know there's like beef between King ISO and Twisted, but that needs to stop. Somebody like, hey, Brotha Lynch Hung, if you see this, can you like talk to Tech and make them like stop beefing and have all this shit and then make a song with Twisted Insane? Because what pissed me off about this song was that Twisted didn't get a verse. Okay. Brotha Lynch Hung does a great job. So does Dalima. Again, I don't have any lyrics, but I could tell you what they did. They were basically violent and really, really just grotesque and outlandish, having their way. This was more of the flex track. This was more about just how they rap, showing off their skills, the trickety rap stuff. Brotha Lynch Hung spends his verse kind of just showing you a lot of the technique and skill that he can provide to the game, and a lot of how he incorporates his like creative evil demonic sense of doing shit. So that was really cool. Again, lyrically, it's like, chopping up bodies, coming for you, don't fuck with me. He does admit to like doing cocaine while he writes a lot of these lyrics, so you can tell that there's like a drug induced effect there. Also, it kind of explains a lot about where he kind of comes from, kind of just getting this idea that like, he's on drugs and he's dealing with a lot of his violent acts in the city or whatnot. So it was really interesting. I do just like it because it was really hype, and the fact that he just raps really quick was cool. And then Dalima does a really nice job. I like how he starts off by spelling out a certain word. Again, does it pretty quick. I didn't catch enough of it, but he does have this old school type of flow, but he also mixes it up, and he can really show you how he does this like trickery thing. He sounds a little younger too, so that's pretty impressive. Just if he is a younger rapper, that's pretty cool. He's chilling with Brotha Lynch Hung like that, but I did appreciate it, and I really thought that like Dalima stood right up next against to Brotha Lynch Hung, as well as in terms of just flair and capability of rapping. I thought he did well next to Twisted Insane as well. The only reason why this track got a 4.2 on 5 for me was because Twisted didn't get a verse. Literally. It's like, unless there's some secret fucking verse out there that I don't know why this song is about like 4 minutes long. It's 4 minutes and 7 seconds long, but the last like minute, about 45 seconds, is just Twisted Insane redoing the chorus 3 times. Why couldn't he have a verse? He goes fast enough. I've heard him go fast enough. He can have a verse in like 20 seconds. I don't know why. Anyway, so the song's pretty dope. The song's pretty hype. I think everybody should listen to it, and this is a really good song that I would put into my morning playlist just because it's super like just energetic and just really fills you with like that just crazy energy. So I gave this song a 4.2, really just because Twisted didn't get a verse. The next song is Dat Blow. So this song was actually pretty cool. The way that I kind of interpret it. Now, the first verse has Brotha Lynch Hung sounding really drug-induced. Sounds like there is a lot of just fun times kind of happening in this dark, gruesome type of way. He does keep up well and consistent with that thematic feel of just kind of outlandish stuff, but there's not a lot of like killing and violence in this verse. In this first verse, at least, there's more of this idea and this context building of like, I think he's chilling with a woman who is kind of like I guess a junkie or a drug addict, is from what I understand in the verse, and he's having fun with her in terms of like just his sick, sadistic mind, the way he wants to like have fun with her and have drugs with her and stuff. And then at one point she kind of screams out that she wants more. Now what I kind of think is going on here is that the featured artist, Mr. Ballatician, I can't speak right now. Anyway, the featured artist here, I think he actually comes in halfway through the first verse, and they're having like a conversation between each other. Brotha Lynch Hung and Mr. Ballatician. Anyway, I think they're having like a conversation about what they want to do, and then it kind of just goes out because the girl is like saying she wants more. So Brotha Lynch Hung's like, okay, well, if you want more, let me hit it from the back, and then he puts epidural in her spine, and it's like kind of this like really fucked up way of how he's kind of showing you this twisted idea of like what pleasures him and stuff like that. This song has this like weird romantic type of vibe to it, so it's really strange, but it was really, really cool. Halfway through it, there's just like this melodic instrumental, which I did appreciate. I thought it was a nice break to the project. I thought it was a nice break to the album, and it kind of gives you a nice breather from a lot of just the toxicity and the outlandish violent acts that have been kind of going on here. So I thought it was cool. And then he comes back in slamming in the second verse, more drug induced. He kind of mentions that he's running around on LSD while he's doing a lot of these crazy acts, but this verse has that iconic theme of like killing people and kind of going at it. So I thought it was actually really cool. I really did enjoy this. I like the way that the artists kind of kind of have this conversation with each other, and they kind of like keep that consistent throughout the track, because even in the second verse, while Brotha Lynch Hung is kind of going out and crazy, I still feel like whatever the other artist is still kind of there with him, and they're also kind of like, if I'm not mistaken, he's also kind of like hyping him up through the track. So that was also really cool. I gave this song a 4.2 on 5. The next track, the next and final actual track on the album is The Burn. This track is actually really cool. It's one of the longer tracks on the project. It's 4 minutes and 25 seconds, but it actually has this really dope story to it, and the way that it's presented in Brotha Lynch Hung really does do this fucking nicely. So it starts off with the featured artist, Hystables, and he's playing this role of like what sounds to be like police bounty hunter type squad thing, and he kind of shows up to the door of where Brotha Lynch Hung is on the other side, I guess with like a hostage or whatnot. And this is kind of the story that's building. I should have started off with the beat, because the beat's got this like really cinematic, anthemic type of feel with like these hard doom, 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 doom type of drums that you're just like, oh, there's like suspense and thrill, and they're like, we're really gonna get into it. And the beat just sounds super different than a lot of the eerie darkness that we've been getting, which I thought was super, super cool. And it really just shows like the diversity and the versatility and what type of sounds that Brotha Lynch Hung likes to play with. So with that, we get back to the story of what is going on. So we get Hystables, like as he goes up to the door and he sets up and he starts like kind of screaming to Brotha Lynch Hung about like, I know you're in there and I know what's going on. So like, just come out. We won't have to take it the hard way. And Brother Lynch Hung kind of makes it comedic. He's like, "What did I do? I don't know what's going on." And they're having this thing. He's like, "You know what you did? You chomped on bodies. This isn't right. You shouldn't be doing that. They think you're scary. We have to take you away." He's like, Brother Lynch Hung asks him like, "What do you think? What do you think?" He goes, "It doesn't matter what I think. There's a lot of change on your head." And I like how the way that he says like you're worth a lot of change is really interesting, kind of showing you like it's just an economic, it's just a money thing, it's just another transaction. It doesn't really matter about his cannibalistic problem or whatever paranoid psychotic issue or manic issue he's dealing with. It's really just he's a criminal, he's a serial killer, he's a criminal, and you have to get him because of money, because of bounty, which I thought was interesting. Also, Hystable then kind of follows up about like, trying to guilt him into like what he did was wrong and a bunch of shit, but then proceeds to mention like, I do want to mention though, I don't think that your son should be living in conditions like this, not being able to watch his dad grow and all these things because of the certain acts that you're doing, kind of giving like this parallel view about how like society is and kind of like what the atmosphere is. And like I could assume the projects, the ghettos and these type of locations, kind of like how parents may not be around and kids kind of have to live through these like fucked up situations in this sick twisted world that Brother Lynch Hung does. So this was really, really cool. And then it kind of goes down. It kind of goes down into like this chorus type way. I can't really remember right now if there is a chorus per se, but more just like the dun dun, kind of building up just the beat and really just trying to like get you. I think there is a chorus. I feel like there is, but I just can't remember. So I greatly apologize. But what's cool is that in the second verse, Brother Lynch Hung responds, and he's like, "Of course, I'm coming out, but I'm coming out swinging," and he's acting all violent. He's got the machete, and he builds this really good. Brother Lynch Hung is really good at storytelling when he wants to be. Builds this beautiful kind of like description of how this scenery is going, how he's like chopping up some of the enforcers, how he's kind of going at it. There's bullets flying, and he's like getting shot, but he's kind of still going at it. And then in some like casual way, he's just kind of like, "Listen, I'm fucking tired of this. Let me just burn the beat. Let me just do this. Let me clean up and let's hide the bodies. I'm tired of fighting," as if he's already won. But my thing is so far I don't really know if he's killed anybody, which is really interesting. Then we kind of go back into like this chorus way, and things are going, doom doom. Again, I think there is a chorus, and I think the chorus, if there is one, if I'm not mistaken, is more just, again, you can't really fuck with Brother Lynch Hung. He's not somebody to be played with. You really got to make sure that like you're ready to die if you're gonna be fucking with them like that. In the third verse, we have Hystable coming back, playing this role of like things have switched and they've kind of make a runaway, and he's kind of explaining like, "Yo, I'm sorry that I had to play you like that, and that I had to bring people and this and that. It shouldn't have gone down like that, but I knew where it was going, and I knew people were on your case, so I came in acting like them to kind of get you out, to make it look like it was all legit, but it was really an escape." And it's really cool how like they're showing you this like story about how like the bounty hunter ex-cop person fucking switched sides with Brother Lynch Hung, and then he passes him a joint or a blunt, and then they start smoking, they're having a good time. And it was really just a crazy, interesting story about how like it really happens in the, maybe this is kind of things how happen in the hood with gangsters, with money, with drugs. Maybe this is like a twisted explanation of what is really going on in society, how corrupt the world is, how corrupt things are. This was really a lot to take away from. And then the fourth verse comes in, and it's just Brother Lynch Hung doing what Brother Lynch Hung does, gets fucked up and kills people, and he's just praising his machete. I don't really know why the fourth verse was there. I think that it was kind of just, it was okay. But I did really like the song in general. I gave it a 4.5 on 5. I thought it was really fucking solid. I really enjoyed just the way that they performed it, and just the way that they were able to just do the different type of trickeries on this, and just have like this story building aspect. It was really, really dope. The next and final thing is the outro. The outro itself is really just sounds like news clips featuring Donald Trump, a news thing from Italy, a news thing about China, all reducing around the coronavirus, kind of like about how we're living in the world and what the society's kind of going like. I don't actually know what the point of this is on the project. I think that he's just kind of showing you like society's fucked, media's fucked, because as he keeps clicking like to change stations or to change channels, the sound gets lower and it kind of fades out, and it kind of sounds like all we're really dealing with is always negativity. There's never any positivity, and it's really weird to come from somebody like Brotha Lynch Hung to say that, or to express that symbolism that I think I'm getting from this, but I don't really know why this would be here. It's interesting. It's really, really interesting. It's really cool. I like how at one point he does say that in Africa there seems to be like the lowest cases possible. I'm not going to quote anything because I don't know and I don't want to get in shit or whatever, but and I don't even remember a lot of the places too, that's why as well, but he does, it's kind of showing like maybe in Africa is like the holy land for this whole virus thing. I don't know, I'm reaching on so many levels in so many ways, but it was a very interesting way to kind of end the project. Pretty much it. It is a 4-on-5, and yeah, it was really great. Overall, this whole project ended up getting a 4.23 on 5. I really did appreciate everything that Brotha Lynch Hung did, and I thank you so much to Ismail Gadamsi for suggesting me to review this project. I do wish there was lyrics so I can really get an in-depth look and analysis of what this project is like, but I thought it was super, super cool. I love Brotha Lynch Hung. I love how he just presents a lot of his paranoid, sort of kind of sounding schizophrenic, psychotic cannibalism experiences, and just really delivers them in such a dope way. So I did appreciate that. I really think people should look at this album. I really think you guys should check it out, and really you can find it on Spotify. Again, it's like fucking 19 minutes long. It's 20 minutes long. It's not that hard. You can listen to it twice and you're done, and you'll understand everything. There's sort of kind of like a story here from beginning to finish, but it's not really like an in-depth thing. But I did enjoy it. I really did like it. I thought it was a really cool project. And as a final thing, oh, I thought that was Holden calling me again. But anyway, with that, thank you so much for watching the video, and I've got more projects to work on and other things to do before I go to bed, so I gotta get this finished. And again, thank you so much to the Patreons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Linda Williams, DJ Black Hurricane, Scribble, and Jonathan Barnes. Greatly appreciate everything you guys do for us. They follow us on Patreon. They talk to me on Twitter. Well, Ismail does, and I'm really glad for that. Guys, see, if you talk to me on Twitter, it's more easy to catch me there, and I will be able to know what albums you want me to do, and I can try to squeeze them in on Fridays or whatnot, or whenever I have some time. So please hit me up there. Chris Chrome 93. I fucked up. Hold on. There you go. So Chris Chrome 93. Just try to check it out. Let me know what you guys think about the video. Leave the comments down below. If you like these little short videos, let me know. This is really just based on the album length. I am going to try doing something new where I kind of pop in quick and give you a little bit of like a 10-15 minute review on like what some albums I've been listening to, just because I have there seems to be a lot of requests that are not getting done, or at least some projects that I want to do just don't have time to sit down and really analyze. Let me know if you guys think that's cool. I may be giving you guys one this weekend. I'm really going to try to pop one in, so I'm going to get that done. With that, I'm going to head out. It's late and I got to edit this, so thank you so much for being here with me. This was a bonus episode of Headspace, Chris Chrome in the evening, and it was Brotha Lynch Hung, the Turnmanator. Have yourself a wonderful quarantine.